Can your American citizenship be taken away, even if you earned it legally? A new Department of Justice memo is sparking that very question. In June 2025, the DOJ instructed prosecutors to intensify their focus on civil denaturalization cases. These are not linked to national security risks or high-profile criminal threats. Instead, they target individuals who have already become U.S. citizens through the legal process of naturalization and are now being re-examined. This is where it gets complicated. The DOJ says the goal is to protect the integrity of the immigration system. If someone lied, committed fraud, or withheld key information, like a prior conviction, gang affiliation, or fake documents, then their path to citizenship, legally speaking, was flawed. In those cases, the government argues it has the right to reverse the process. But here's what makes it controversial. These cases are being pursued as civil actions, not criminal trials. That means no right to a public defender, no jury, and the burden of proof is much lower. Prosecutors don't need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, just that it's more likely than not that something was misrepresented. Supporters of the policy say this is about accountability. That citizenship, while deeply valued, shouldn't be built on false pretenses. They point out that denaturalization isn't new. It's been part of U.S. law since the 20th century, even used to revoke citizenship from Nazi collaborators in the post-war years. But critics see something different. They argue this could open the door to selective enforcement and turn naturalized citizens into a class of Americans with fewer protections. In a civil proceeding, a decades-old omission could become grounds to strip someone of their passport, their vote, and their home. And there are real-life examples. In one case, a man lost his citizenship after it was discovered that he failed to disclose a misdemeanor from his early 20s, despite living in the U.S. for decades and raising a family. Another case involved an elderly woman whose English fluency was used against her. Prosecutors argued that she couldn't have misunderstood questions on her application. To be clear, these aren't sweeping actions. Only a few hundred civil denaturalization cases have ever been filed, and even fewer are successful. But the new memo signals that more are on the way. And that's what worries advocates, the potential for misuse, especially in politically sensitive times. Civil rights organizations warn that the memo could disproportionately affect immigrants of color or those from countries currently out of political favor. The DOJ maintains that every case will be based on evidence, not identity or background. Still, the memo has reignited a broader debate. What should it take to become an American? And once you are one, how secure should that status be? Naturalized citizens make up about 10% of the U.S. population. They serve in the military, start businesses, pay taxes, and vote. The promise of citizenship is what drew them here. That promise, they believed, was permanent. For now, this is not a mass revocation campaign. It's not about deporting millions, but it is a shift in tone. One that asks whether the system should be unforgiving, or whether citizenship, once granted, should carry a stronger presumption of permanence. As this story continues to unfold, one thing is clear. The definition of what it means to be an American, and how secure that identity is being quietly re-examined in real time. And in a nation built on identity, that's something worth watching closely. Share your thoughts on this burning issue in the comments below.